Hey and welcome, I'm Hammeh, and in this series we're discovering more about the lore and characters of Overwatch's heroes, including more detail through their in-game voice lines and interactions. Before any map starts and during the game on various triggers, Overwatch heroes chatter with and react to each other in some funny in-game voice interactions. These give us some great insights into hero character, interests and backstories. In this video we're looking at Lucio's story, through his interactions with fellow heroes and the world around him. Now an international celebrity taking his Synaesethesia World tour around the globe, Lucio shot to fame as a freedom fighter who inspired social change both through his rebellious actions and musical talent. With his world tour currently possibly in jeopardy due to outbreaks of disorder and a potential Second Omnic Crisis if Atlas News is to be believed, will Lucio pick up his sonic amplifier and use it to support the world in its time of need? Firstly, we'll go through Lucio's story. After the first Omnic Crisis, many nations had been hit hard in terms of physical and economic damage, and much rebuilding was required. Brazil was no different. Financial upheaval engulfed it following the Omnic Crisis, as well as other countries around the world, as well as suffering direct attacks and damage, such as this attack on Rio in historic Overwatch newsreels. Both cities and the favela areas surrounding them had to begin a slow road to recovery. Only a baby around the time the first Omnic Crisis ended, Lucio Correia de Santos is a child of the post-crisis generation. Born in a poor and crowded favela in Rio de Janeiro, a young Lucio saw the aftermath of the crisis on his community take impact firsthand. Looking to find a way to raise people's spirits, he found his answer in music, getting into mixing and music production to help people forget their troubles. Lucio's popularity grew rapidly as an artist. Initially performing on street corners, he swiftly moved to larger block parties and venues, making his name at a string of legendary underground shows. Lucio may well have remained a local star only, were it not for the attempts of the multinational Vishkar Corporation to expand their operations further into Brazil. As detailed in Symmetra's comic, A Better World, we know that Vishkar secured a contract to develop large parts of Rio, including the favela areas in which Lucio must have lived. Told that this would improve their lives, Rio's citizens never saw the reality of the promises made. The promised favela redevelopment initially mentioned in winning the contract never emerged, and Vishkar imposed controls on the population, such as curfews, crackdowns on apparent lawlessness, and even exploiting local Brazilians as a cheap workforce. In the midst of this tightening of the Vishkar grip, Lucio decided to take a stand, and, ironically some might say, found his greatest asset in Vishkar technology that was being used to help control his people. Known for their architectural expertise and the hard light construction technology of their architects, Vishkar had also made great advances in sonic technology too, creating sonic amplifiers, devices that could be used to apparently suppress or help control local populations. Stealing this technology, Lucio adapted it to help inspire and rally those around him into action instead. Vishkar was driven out of local neighbourhoods in an uprising, with Lucio's key role in the events turning him into an international star overnight. After working on a new album for the last 2 years, Lucio teased fans across the globe by releasing 2 tracks from Synaesethesia Auditiva. Inspired by his heart beating for Brazil's peoples, their struggles and triumphs, Lucio's tour also used new technology Lucio worked on to bring the music to life, apparently allowing people to both feel and visualise it in new ways. Rejuvenencia and We Move Together as One rocketed to the top of the charts as a preview, surpassing his breakout single from the previous year, Sonos Omnikos. Having kicked off his world tour in a sold-out gig in Cologne, Germany, it seems Lucio's tour may well be curtailed by current outbreaks of disorder and conflict around the world. A deserted Numbani was due to host one of his concerts, and with the tensions between Omnics and humans in King's Row potentially threatening another event, it remains to be seen whether Lucio will feel that his music and leadership may have another purpose than touring. Lucio's already led a revolution once. With his newfound fame and international platform, along with 2 years worth of speculated tech development on his stolen sonic amplifier, will the world in crisis lead him to take up a new cause? Lucio's a pretty positive guy, and he's always trying to find ways to cheer up and pep up his team.
Look at this team. We're gonna do great.
And he'll always show his joy when he pulls off something cool. Here's one when he does a particularly sweet wall ride.
Oh man, I'm loving this.
Now I'm not sure if this is in the game, but it's really awesome how Lucio would sound if he's standing around. His music never leaves him.
Chillin', so much chillin', too much chillin', this is all I'm chillin'. Chillin', chill. Boom, 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 chill. Boom, boom, chill.
Although he does get a little bit impatient if he's standing around for too long.
Well, I'm just gonna take 5 then, or 10, or 20. You coming back?
Lucio doesn't really have any massive burns or insults. He's got the odd mild one or two like these.
Served. You're old news.
Now, when it comes to humour, Lucio is not averse to a good sound or music related pun. Here's a few of the gems he comes out with.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Yeah, that was the drop. We have him heading to the exits. You know me, ready to roll.
Happy to send people to the exits, but also ready to roll skates. Okay, it's now time for the references game. Can you tell what these quotes are referring to? As always, I'll leave a little gap for you to answer.
I'm feeling some good vibrations.
That one, of course, is the Beach Boys' Good Vibrations, a classic surf track.
Now that was the sound of science.
All you memesters will definitely appreciate that one. It's definitely the sound of silence rather than the sound of silence, as Simon and Garfunkel used to play. Hello Darkness, my old friend. Any oversalters out there remember that one?
When the music hits, you feel no pain.
Now that was an interesting one. It's actually Trenchtown Rock by Bob Marley, another musical influence there for him.
It goes to 11.
Going up to 11 to finish up could be none other than Spinal Tap in that infamous amp scene where the Marshall amp can be turned up to 11. Actually, you can do that on the BBC's iPlayer for a while. Having grown up post-Omnic Crisis and being 26 at the moment, Lucio should be familiar with many of the characters of Overwatch, including the agents that used to work for the organisation, even if he hasn't met or worked with them. His pretty laid-back attitude means that he seems to be able to get on with a variety of different people well, bar one which we'll talk about in a bit. Lucio always likes to make a little joke and pun here and there, and Winston proves too easy and maybe slightly too serious or literal a target for his joking around.
Winston, how's it hanging?
Okay, I guess. We got this big mission coming up. Oh, I get it.
Although Reinhardt may be pretty up to date in his gaming tastes as he's a fan of Diva, his music sits firmly in the past, and Lucio's only too quick to banter with him on this.
Reinhardt, we need to find you some new tunes.
You kids today with your techno music. You should enjoy the classics, like Hasselhoff. What's wrong with the classics? I love Hasselhoff. Have you heard Night Rocker?
Oh man, I can't even take you seriously right now.
Now interestingly, someone in the comments a while back mentioned, sorry I can't remember who, that in his German dub, Reinhardt is actually a fan of dubstep. Can anyone confirm that? Might be right up with Lucio's tastes if so. As international stars in their various fields, it's no surprise that Lucio and Diva are aware of each other. It's cool that they're actually fans of each other's work though.
Diva in the flesh! Woo! Can I get your autograph?
Only if I could get yours too. I love your new album.
Tracer and Lucio both zip around at speed. With Lucio's blades, I can definitely see him trying to fight Tracer in a race. When the two spawn in game, you can get a couple of these combos of lines.
You having trouble keeping up?
Then stay out of our way. Lucio, I'll race ya.
Now, although Lucio is pretty chilled, the one person he doesn't have much in common with at all is Symmetra. We know that Lucio has history with Vishkar, as we've learnt from his bio that he drove the corporation out of some of Rio's neighbourhoods. Symmetra was the Vishkar architect sent to help broker the Rio deal that caused Vishkar to destroy and cause damage to the favelas in the first place. So if Lucio's not aware of her individually, he certainly doesn't like anything that Vishkar and her stand for.
What you Vishkar will never understand is that people should be free.
What you call freedom is an illusion that causes more harm than good.
And aside debates on the nature of freedom, the two aren't too happy about having to team up with each other either.
Think I should have to work with a street ruffian.
I'm not all that excited about this arrangement either.
And finally, I think when Lucio kills an enemy Symmetra, he tells her where to go.
That's for my family back home.
Lucio's such a welcoming guy, he even tries to have some banter with Bastion, which I'd say Bastion seems to appreciate, even if I'm not exactly fluent in beep bop boop, and we don't know exactly what his response is.
Hey Bastion, check this out. Boop beep, boop beep, boop boop.
Lucio's travelled a chunk of the world on his Synaesthesia tour, I'd imagine, and a few of his lines definitely sound like an on-tour lifestyle. On Hollywood, and someone said actually on Volkskaya as well, we can see that Lucio would like to play a little bit of hockey if he gets the time.
I wish I'd brought my stick and pads. I'm sure I could have found a pickup game here.
Kings Row-wise, Lucio was meant to play another show here, and we can clearly see on this spawn line that he's either thinking of checking out another music event, or maybe one of London's theatre productions.
Let's not waste time. I have tickets to a show tonight.
Lucio's clearly been so busy that he can't keep up his local language studies. Now we hear that he's lacking a bit of local lingo on Hanamura.
Wish I'd practiced my Japanese more. Konnichiwa!
And finally, Lucio's free spirit is echoed in Nimbani's tolerant living between Omnics and humans, as he mentions when he spawns on there.
Now this is my kind of city. Everyone free to live as they choose.
Thanks very much for tuning into my hero voiceline and story series. Check out the playlist linked on the left for more videos like this of different heroes. I'm going to be doing the entire cast. If you like this video, please hit that like button below, subscribe, and comment with what you enjoy, what you think of the character, and most importantly, what you'd like to see next. I really appreciate hearing what you all think. I've also got quick hero guides, lore bites, my new quick digestible lore series, Easter eggs and map lore, and a whole bunch of other commentated gameplay on the channel too. Until next time, I've been Hammeh. Take it easy.